We're dropping into Yeongam, South Korea to check out one of the newest circuits on the F1 calendar. The Korean International Circuit in the south of the country first hosted an F1 Grand Prix in 2010. In a country of rich traditions and ancient dynasties, this ultra-modern progressive country is just the place for F1. So let's get the lowdown on this exciting circuit with Red Bull's Mark Webber.
Hi, here are Mark Webber and Sebastien Vettel at the brand new Korean International Circuit. 5.6 kilometre racetrack, one part is used all year for races, plus an extension especially for our race weekend. 55 laps, counterclockwise, in all 309 kilometres. 5 slow turns, 3 high-speed stretches, 2 good spots for overtaking. And the last section is kind of a city circuit if all the architect's plans are realised in the future. Our first look onto Korea.
Race strategy and driver performance are greatly affected by track knowledge, so the teams have worked hard to understand the Korean circuit.
Looking at the track layout, you'd have to say with the longest straight on the calendar, that section is going to be tough for us with the package that we have. But then sector 2 and 3 have quite a lot of corners and fast flowing corners, so hopefully they should suit our chassis strengths more. So I guess with the strengths and weaknesses that we have, we should be competitive, but again, take nothing for granted. We have to do our homework, we have to keep working hard.
The teams like what they see. Alonso's race engineer rates the circuit as one of the very best.
The circuit in Korea is one of the most interesting of the championship, especially from the technical point of view. I will put it together with Suzuka, Spa and Silverstone.
Tyre degradation is an increasingly important aspect of modern Formula One, especially here in Korea.
So we want to be as competitive as possible in qualifying, and then trying to use the fact that we are normal gentle on the tyres in a track that will be difficult on the tyres like Korea.
The Ferrari engineer is just the man to outline the perfect car setup for this challenging circuit.
It has a lot of low-speed corners, but since it's also a long track, you can find high-speed change of direction, medium-speed change of direction, hard braking, especially in the first part of the circuit. So you need to be very competitive.
Korea is a prosperous country that has heartily embraced technology, benefiting from the fastest internet connections on the planet. So let's check out the circuit with a suitably high-tech simulation of a lap and see if the Red Bulls can stay connected to the tarmac.
Let's do a lap. After the start, prepare for the double left. Turn 1, watch the inside. Keep the speed up and accelerate early. A good exit is crucial to reach full speed for the longest high-speed stretch in Korea. 6th, 7th gear, full throttle. At the end of the fastest part lurks the slowest turn on the circuit. An overtaking possibility, but a difficult braking manoeuvre. From over 300 down to 80. Miss the braking point here and you're sent right to the back. Catch-up race on the last high-speed stretch into 3 extremely slow zigzag turns. Here, you need to find a good rhythm, attacking the curves a little, but also keeping the speed up. Accelerate hard out of turn 6 towards a very fast sequence of turns. Very important to get these as clean as you can. Otherwise, you're almost taking off. Turn 11, a long left-hander with 2 apexes. 240 kilometres, heavy G-forces that pull on your neck. After turn 12 begins the last section, designed as a city circuit. Down to the harbour, still very twisty, hardly a breather to be had in Korea. Turn 17, a long right-hander. Again you feel the G-forces pulling. One last little kink and back to the start-finish line. And hopefully with a good lap time.
Given Korea's technological prowess, we thought it would be the perfect place to celebrate F1's complexity with an amazing project from Sauber.
So as we all know, Formula One is the pinnacle of technology in motorsport. As I'm sure you've all seen on the TV and in magazines, there are lots of pictures of Formula One cars. But wouldn't it be really cool if we took a Formula One car and split it and opened it, just like an apple?
What an awesome idea! And they don't just take a chainsaw to the car, it's a painstaking process, opening up such a complex machine.
Here at the Sauber F1 team, that's exactly what we've done. We've cut a car straight down the centre line. It's taken us 2 years, but here it is. One of the challenging points of designing a Formula One car are positioning and packaging all the components that make the Formula One car work. Here you can see all these components and how they're positioned on the car. So starting at the rear, we've got the gearbox, we've got the clutch, we've got the engine, we've got the oil tank, we've got the fuel system. Here we've got all the electronic boxes. And then moving up to the front, we've got all the pedals and the steering system. Now, it's very important on a Formula One car that we keep all the weight very low. This reduces the centre of gravity of the car and brings us performance.
Our man Matt Morris explains the intricate design of an F1 car, where weight distribution, technical regulations and driver safety are essential requirements.
This is the car steering system. We start with a steering wheel. Clearly it's not just a steering wheel, it also doubles up as the driver's interface to the rest of the car and also to the pits. On the back of the steering wheel we have the gear shift paddles and also the paddle to lift the clutch. On the front there are many buttons to talk to the guys in the pit lane, to change engine settings, to save fuel, more power. And in the middle there's a little computer screen which tells him if there's any problems with the car, its split times, all sorts of really useful data for him. From the steering wheel we come down the steering column, the thin wall carbon tube which has quite a tortuous route as it comes down through the car. It has to come through the pedals, turn an angle and then come down to the steering system. The steering system is actually a very simple steering system due to the regulations and very similar to that you have on the road car, obviously a lot smaller and lighter. Here we have the driver's seat, obviously where the driver sits, and then immediately behind him, probably 50 millimetres away, is where we store the highly flammable fuel in the fuel cell. This is a Kevlar fuel system, and as you can see we have lots of horizontal baffles in there. Now if we didn't have these horizontal baffles, the fuel would surge around, particularly under braking with the high G levels and in cornering.
Fascinating stuff, but there's one important component missing. Sauber opting for a high-performance model made in Mexico.
I guess the final piece of the jigsaw now is to position the driver. Some say he's the most important part of the car, so let's get him in.
It's important to be fit. You are not in a normal position. You have a lot of forces, especially in a crash. I had a big accident last year in Monaco, so we quite know that it's a safe car.
The driver then must be accommodated in the car, but aerodynamic performance, extensively tested in state-of-the-art wind tunnels, dictates that the car's low profile must not be compromised. This means that the driver sits very low in the car, bringing unexpected pros and cons.
You sitting comfy?
Well, a little bit. This is how it looks. As I told you, not a very comfortable position to be sitting in 2 hours.
We've spoken about getting all the components as low down on the car as possible. Obviously you're just another component to us, so as you can see your sort of backside is 10 millimetres away from the tarmac, which obviously you feel when you're racing in the car. Yeah. It's usually a good gauge to tell us if the car is too low, because his backside maybe gets a little bit warm.
You just feel a small touch.
Yeah.
Back there.
Yeah.
Driver safety has long been a guiding element of F1 car design, with no fatalities since Ayrton Senna's death at Imola in 1994.
Safety is obviously paramount in Formula One. Obviously, if anything does happen, we have a fire extinguisher system on the car, which sits here, which can either be activated by the driver or the marshals at the track. The actual chassis is one big safe haven for the driver. We make the chassis from carbon and honeycomb, so it's very, very strong and very light. There are many other safety features on the car, such as the head padding to stop the driver's head getting injured. We have crash structures above the driver's head and in front of the driver. And then as we move down the car, we have a crash zone at the front. All this packaging that we've spoken about makes it very difficult to try and find anywhere for my Apple to fit, other than this huge void at the front which has to be reserved for the frontal crash test. I hope you've enjoyed your tour of a cutaway Sauber F1 car. Thank you very much.
That was quite something, so thanks to Matt and the Sauber team for such great insight. From the intricate details of F1 technology, we're heading for the skies to get the bigger picture, skydiving over Korea's capital, Seoul. The Red Bull Air Force are a selection of the world's best skydivers and base jumpers, so what better way to take in the sights than riding with them as they fly into town at 130 kilometers an hour. Some pretty awesome views as they scream past skyscrapers before deploying their chutes, pumped to the max after such an incredible jump.
Yeah! Awesome!
Yeah!
Woo!
Yeah, John. Yeah, that was insane. That was so awesome.
Oh, that was such a dream come true right there. Thank you, Korea. I can feel that in my soul. Woo! Bring it in.
But they're not happy yet. The Seoul Tower stands 230 meters above the city, the perfect spot for a base jump.
Later, boys.
Yeah, Mike. Now,
Open her up.
go.
First people ever to jump off the Seoul Tower, about 380-foot exit to the ground. Super exhilarating. It was awesome.
Miles Daisher is next up with an awesome backflip.
Yeah, Miles Dasher with the Red Bull Air Force. We just came out and jumped the Seoul Tower here. Beautiful Seoul, Korea. It's a little bit cloudy today, but still it's a beautiful place to be.
And it's not too bad out on track either. Korea is set to be part of F1 for many years to come, and with such a great circuit in a diverse and modern country, teams and fans alike will be delighted. So that's it from Korea, its dynamic capital Seoul, and the circuit in Yeongam, until the next F1 flies into town.